Hey, engineering students, we're going to take a look today at how you're going to collect and analyze some data from your Catapult. So you should have built a Catapult last time and submitted just a picture and a sentence about it. Real quick assignment. If you haven't done that yet, you're going to need to do that to complete this assignment. So go ahead and do that. Check the video from last time about some ideas for just making a quick, easy Catapult at home. So we're gonna look at how you can analyze some of that data that you get from the Catapult. So you're gonna perform 10 trials. Now you're gonna measure. If you don't have a measuring device like a ruler or a tape measure, you can measure from literally anything, right? You can do like your iPad lengths. You can measure how many iPads long you get shot each time. It doesn't really matter as long as you have some unit to measure in. So you can use your actual feet, right? Your feet's probably close to 12 inches, but not exactly 12 inches. The units don't really matter for this. It's more about the data collection. So, and it doesn't matter what you're shooting anyways. You've maybe used a box plot or a box and whisker plot before in math class. This is a real quick way to just get a snapshot of your data. It can be a ton of data. It could be a few data pieces, but it shows you what the minimum is and the maximum is. So you can quickly say, all right, what's the smallest and the biggest? And half of your data, the middle half of your data, fits in this box. That's called the interquartile range. That's just a fancy way of saying the middle chunk of the data. So that's defined by the lower quartile and the upper quartile. So that means 25% of your data is below this line. 25% of your data is between this and the median. And then the next 25% is between the median and the upper quartile. And then this is the top 25% here. So hopefully you're familiar with it and that makes sense. Let me know if you're confused by this chart. So we're going to look at how you can make this in spreadsheets. So this is a lot of steps, but it's actually pretty easy here. So I'm going to show you on my iPad here what this will look like and how you will create your own. So let's switch over to my iPad here. So I've got this sheet open already, and you're just going to make a copy of this in Schoology. So you might want to zoom in a little bit smaller here so you can see your chart. So you're going to put whatever your units are here. And it can be a little bit picky about, there we go, I had a double tap in there. So let's say I'm doing feet. Doesn't really matter. Gonna put my name in here. And so let's say I do collect my data, right? So I'm just gonna make up some numbers here. Let's say I got a few far launches there, maybe a short one. Okay, so I've got my 10 data points in there. And you'll see here, we automatically, Mr. Kosik made this spreadsheet. It automatically calculated those values for you. So there's the minimum, the lower quartile, the upper quartile, and the max. So you're going to use this to make a chart. So you learn how to do this in spreadsheets. So I've got some down here where you can highlight. And if you're not sure, you can always go up and check the formulas here in red that Mr. Kosik made for you to make sure you do it exactly right. So, but how this works is, so yes, you can look at that data and quickly see what the minimum is, but what if you had 1,000 pieces of data? I've worked on a machine that spit out literally tens of thousands of pieces of data every time you ran it. You don't want to go scanning through that. So you can say equals min, and then starting parentheses, or an open parentheses we call it, and then you're going to click here, and you're going to highlight all the data here. And be careful, it can be a little picky here. You want to get these, you can grab those little blue corners to get that. And hit enter. And we've got an error. Let's go back there. Oops. Equals min. Highlight that. All right, so let's see what our error is here. Okay, so my error was, I think I just didn't have my parentheses at the end. So let's do that one more time together here and pretend I didn't just screw this up. It's engineering, we make mistakes, right? So equals min, starting parentheses, highlight this, there's all my data, and then closing parentheses. Here, I saw that it's wanting to insert this comma here, so you want to make sure you don't have that. This is, spreadsheets are a little bit trickier to do on the iPad. This is, I had no issues when I was doing this on the computer, but it's what we got, so we'll make the best of it. So here, so again, you start with that equal sign, and that's kind of like a warning to your spreadsheet, like, hey, I'm about to throw a formula at you, get ready to do some math. So, and you can see it's popping up with some suggestions here. So quartile, so first thing it wants, so you can see there's two like highlighted here. These are called like arguments or parameters. So this is what that formula is expecting. So first it wants our data. So let's go ahead and give it that. So B3 to B12. And then I'm going to hit comma. And now it wants our quartile number. So the lowest quartile is called quartile 1. And hit enter. Okay. Same thing here. Equals quartile data. We're going to highlight our data here again. Comma. Now which quartile we want? We want the third quartile. This is the upper quartile. And I did it again. I didn't get my closing parentheses there. And our max, just say equals max. And then highlight all our data. I know that's easy to just see by looking at it. Oh, here I am making this mistake so you guys can see how easy it is. Trying to make you feel better for when you make the mistakes. Let's go with that. Okay, so there's our max. I just had that extra comma in there again. Okay, so what you're going to do with this data now is you're going to highlight this. Make sure you only have your data, and you also want to include my launch data in there. So you're going to click the plus, and you're going to hit chart. And if you're doing this on a computer, it'll look a little bit different. You'll be looking for a candlestick chart. But here you want to go down to trend. And so that calls it a trend chart here. It's a candlestick chart if you're on the computer. I don't know why Google has different names for it. It's a box plot. So anyways, we're going to hit the check mark. And there is our launch data. In math class, you may have seen this turned so the axes are the other way. You can go ahead and if you want to add some units and stuff, you go in here and edit chart. You can fix your legend if you want to change your title and include your units there. But yeah, so go ahead and update your chart a little bit if you want. And this, just looking at this, somebody can real quickly say, oh yeah, most of the data, most of these launches were between about 4 and 7. And the highest was up here around 9 and the lowest was around 2. It's just a real quick way to do that. So take a screenshot of this, throw it in Notability, do a quick summary about what you did in your Catapult, what you learned doing these in spreadsheets, what this all means, just a couple sentences, and go ahead and upload that PDF to this assignment in Schoology. Hopefully this is helpful. We'll be hanging around the classroom if you got questions. Good luck.